Can we all stand and give him a warm welcome? A round of applause as he arrives. So, please be seated. Thank you. And now, we have our other dignitaries joining our chief guest on stage. We have our Honorable Chief Minister, Mr. Conrad K. Sangma. We also have Dr. Vijay Kumar, the Commissioner and Secretary, Government of Meghalaya. We have Shri Cyril V. Darlong Liengdo, the Director of the Tourism Department. And we have Professor Badaplin War. And we also have Mr. Sanjoy Hazarika. Thank you, Ms. Mary. What a strange thing to be alive beneath the cherry blossoms. This is a quote by the Japanese poet, my apologies, Kobayashi Issa. Indeed, the festival is full of promise, of life, of coming together for the love of the word. We will now have a performance by Mr. Lamphang Syiemlieh.
Kalong mo kabalayang aman klet ya pakuri bait kiblay Kalong mo kabala bangan kentat ya kalong ing kasih kara O em nganum rempay Wadlah kasuk kasan Ni wadlang adon sa Shillong bertay Kuri snamok niuk pablajer na duhenday da ulang syua Tukam de yang ngaban sumar suker ya kanam balatep haki mau benar O em nganum berat ya pakuri basyong kiblay Wadlah kakya kasyon ni wadlang asyang saudong bertay Kanatang ulang man syua plus no agik say kaduy tara Hatukin nam ken uat padiay ken uat pan pen kilong ya donut jong moka tin rai bangan num klet yala tin rai bangan tip yala ka tin rai hap deng ki por ki bayai temai tin rai moka tin rai bangan num klet yala tin rai bangan tip yala ka tin rai hap deng ki por ki bayai temai Thank you, Kulishbon.
Thank you, Mr. Lamphang, Syiemlieh, and his accompanying musicians for the very powerful performance. We now invite Dr. Vijay Kumar D, Commissioner and Secretary, Governor of Meghalaya, to give the welcome speech.
Our Honorable Chief Minister, Shri Conrad K. Sangma, Shri Sanjay Hazarika, Professor Badaplin War, authors present here, Basiril, Director Tourism, Kongisa, Deputy Commissioner of East Khasi Hills, all the invitees, friends from the media, young people who have come from various educational institutions to participate in this festival. A very, very good morning to you all, and welcome to this wonderful setting for the second edition of the Shillong Literary Festival. I'm sure many of you have participated in the first edition, which we held last year around the same time, in the same setting. I'm sure you would notice that this time the festival has only become bigger. I think we have made use of this beautiful space that we have, both the cherry blossoms and the lake itself, to create an even more wonderful setting. I want to really, really thank the Forest Department first for maintaining this whole space so very well, and also for being very generous in giving us this space, giving all of us this space to enjoy and to be able to host this beautiful festival here. Even in terms of the lineup of the authors, we have made our best effort. In fact, our creative team, Kong Mary, everyone from Meghalaya Age have made their best effort to make the lineup even bigger, to bring a whole host of authors, writers, and stakeholders to be part of this program. We are also very happy that this year several of our guests could also stay at the Vivanta Hotel. We have been able to inaugurate the Vivanta Hotel, and that's another addition to all the wonderful festivals that we are doing. So when we think of a festival like this, a Shillong Literary Festival, which now is going to be a calendar event every year, why are we doing? Why is the government of Meghalaya, why is the tourism department, what is the intent behind organizing such a festival? To my mind, there are three main reasons. The first is it's a celebration, it's an opportunity for young people of the state. We have so many of these people, more are coming, to really interact, to provide a platform to really interact with the best in the country, with the best in the world, to interact with their icons, with their with people whose books they have been reading, who they have been admiring, to see them in person, to have those face-to-face conversations, to learn, to be inspired, to basically provide that platform. And providing this platform is part of the overall story of what the government has been doing under the leadership of our Honorable Chief Minister, which is providing, giving a huge impetus to creative enterprises in the state, whether it is in literature, whether it is in art, whether it is in music, whether it is in craft. Today, as we speak in Delhi, in our Meghalaya Age store in Delhi, we are doing an exhibition of women artists. So like this, a number of things are happening where the state is trying to create opportunities for young people to interact with the very best, to be inspired, and to do very well. I think that is the primary purpose, the first fundamental purpose of this event. The second is to celebrate our city, celebrate Shillong, this beautiful place, the ambience that we have, then the cherry blossoms that we have. Last week we organized the Northeastern Games in Shillong. So it was, the whole nation was looking at Shillong as we celebrated 3,000 athletes coming together and participating in a beautiful event in the city. So this week is for literature, this week is for music, where we are going to celebrate our city, brand our city, and put this on the international map. The third is, frankly, I think, just for the joy of the written word, to celebrate all our common love for literature, for the written word. I'm so glad that all of us are here, and we'll be doing that in the next 3 days. So I take this opportunity to once again formally welcome our Honorable Chief Minister, under whose guidance, under whose direction, everything that we're doing is possible. So without your vision, we all know that none of this could have been possible, and thank you so much for guiding this department, every department, pushing all of us to get things done and creating these beautiful platforms for everyone. I'd like to welcome our dignitaries on stage, our authors, Sri Sanjay Hazarika. Sir, it's reading your books. When I was a young probationer, our introduction to the Northeast was through reading your books. Thank you so much, and it's a privilege to have you here. Professor Var, thank you so much, ma'am. Congratulations on the Padma Shri Award, and to have you here. You have written so many books, 9 books on the Khasi language and linguistics, and your contribution to education and literature has been now nationally recognized. Thank you so much. We look forward to hearing you. I also welcome all the authors. I can't take all the names. We have a huge lineup, but I'd like to welcome all the authors who are here and who are coming over the next 2 to 3 days to be part of this festival. I would like to welcome and also request the media to give this event the widest possible coverage. All our friends from media who are here, a warm welcome to you. And most importantly, to all the youth, once again, please participate. This is a platform that is being created for you so that you can have the best experience and all the opportunities in the world. Thank you so much, and may this festival be a wonderful success.
Thank you, sir. We now invite Professor Banaplin War, Padma Shri Awardee 2022, linguist, translator, literature, and educationist, to come and say a few words.
The Honorable Chief Minister of Meghalaya, Shri Conrad K. Sangma, Dr. Vijay Kumar D, Commissioner and Secretary, Government of Meghalaya, Shri Cyril Vidarlong Dengdo, Director, Tourism, Government of Meghalaya, Madam Isawanda Lalu, the Deputy Commissioner, Mary Kurkalang, the Creative Director, Shillong Literary Festival, Mrs. Sanjoy Hazarika, dignitaries, esteemed resource persons, panelists, ladies and gentlemen. I consider it a great honor for me to be here in this gathering and to be a part of the inauguration of the Shillong Literary Festival, Edition 2. We have seen the rise of literary festivals in many parts of the world, but it is a matter of great pride for our country that the largest literary one is the Jaipur Literary Festival. The fact that literary festivals are a big draw, especially in our country, bears testimony to the love and value of books by many readers. It also shows one of the desired results of literacy. Wenshi Omensen writes, and I quote, "To understand the dynamics of literary festivals is to engage with the social and cultural coordinates of a particular manifestation of what Bodhi calls the literary field, and to observe its production of authors and readers as well as text." Unquote. Festivals allow the book lovers around the country to gather and interact with their favorite authors. Real-time conversations and listening to live interactions of one's favorite actors certainly raises the understanding level as well as making the text becoming more alive. It is an opportunity not only to listen to renowned writers, but perhaps even get their autographs and the signed books, something which I usually love to do. I mean, to get the signatures and the autographs of well-known writers. For new writers, budding authors, uh, you know, it is an opportunity, of course, if given the chance to engage with the authors or to interview established writers. It will be an inspiration as well as an opportunity to get the works reorganized or even published. The challenge of finding a market for one's literary work, and I speak of this from my own experience, um, including in translation, has always been a very huge challenge. A well-known translation theorist, Lawrence Venuti, in his book, The Translator's Invisibility, narrates, and I quote once again, transparency in contemporary writing is enforced by economic value, which sets acceptable limits for deviation, unquote. In other words, in order to make the translated piece more palatable to the readers in the target language, one has to make compromises in the faithful rendering of the source text. In the same manner, creative writers may be under pressure to choose acceptable themes or politically correct kinds of writing for the work to sell. However, writers from times past have displayed courage to express their views, share their experiences, at times even at the risk of life and limb. Such works, in fact, have even become bestsellers, and the publishers and the publishing houses have a big part in this. It is very encouraging to see that there will be a session on market, platform, and access in this literary festival. I hope there will be positive results after the session for many new writers in particular. I say this because there is a huge market for books in India. I have read, I have looked up, Nelson's India's book market report, and I quote from Sonali Joshi and Dr. Mukul. According to the recent study of Nielsen titled India Book Market Report 2015, Indian book market is worth rupees 261 billion and is the 7th largest in the world. The study estimates the market to touch rupees 739 billion by 2020. We are past that, and I'm sure that it has increased even more greatly. Literary festivals provide a means for authors to find their place in the book market of the country. They also help promote literature in regional languages to have a platform and also find a place in the Indian book market. I sincerely hope that the Shillong Literary Festival will help bring literature of the state's languages and those of the region to the forefront, and thus giving them a chance to make their presence felt at the national or even at the international stage. Literary festivals can make an impact, a positive impact on readers, especially young readers. One hears elders in the society voicing their concern at the lack of reading among the youths of today, in our society in particular. I believe holding the festival in attractive venues like the Words Lake, where we are now, with eye-catching topics of conversations and discourse, will draw a large number of guests, especially from among the younger generation, which we can see now, and and evoke in them a desire for reading. Literary festivals also draw authors, intellectuals, artists, guests, and visitors from different parts of the region, the country, and perhaps even the world. With luminaries from around the country congregating in the city, the Shillong Literary Festival, as with other literary festivals, will attract people from many places in the future and make the state of Meghalaya a more interesting and meaningful tourist destination besides its natural beauty. The last 2 years of pandemic, the COVID-19, had negatively affected the travel and hospitality industries in our state, but this year has been kind not just to us, but to the whole world. We hope that tourism will be revived again. However, writers, artists, photographers have voiced the concerns against the environmental degradation which is the result of mindless tourism. Pictures and photographs and videos have been displayed to the whole world the careless ways of using and discarding single-use plastic, which has affected the environment very badly from the hills and valleys, rivers and oceans. The plastic junk on the foothills and the slopes of Mount Everest, and the endangerment of sea and ocean animals is a case in point. The powerful imagery of the environmental degradation affecting the highest height and the deepest depth of the planet must and should evoke a response from all concerned. Yes, all the environmental woes are not caused by the tourism industry, but it certainly have a crucial role to educate and create an awareness and on the need to revive, promote, and preserve the fragile fabric of our environment. Of course, not all should be doom and gloom in the tourism sector. The United Nations World Tourism Organization have taken a welcome step in the right direction as reflected in the theme of this year's celebration of the World Tourism Day, Rethinking Tourism, which is appropriate and timely. The guidelines and management practices given include the optimal use of environmental resources, global tourism, plastic initiative, hotel energy solutions. I'm very happy that we have a new hotel being inaugurated and being made functional. But I think all these things also need to be taken into considerations. Hotel energy solutions, conservation of biodiversity, etc. Certainly, authors, media persons, artists, all have a crucial role to play, and the literary festival is the right place for conversations on these matters. Glancing through the program of the Shillong Literary Festival, one can see the importance given to understanding more about culture. Of course, literature is deeply embedded in the culture it represents. Its customs, beliefs, rituals, taboos, institutions, and social practices. Much has been said about the matrilineal society of the Khasis and the Garos of Meghalaya, but I believe there needs to be a more in-depth and honest understanding of its strength and its flaws, much of which have been depicted in the oral as well as in the written literary texts. There will be about 3 sessions, I think, on culture, each one with a very interesting approach. The approach may be hermeneutical or ethnological in the case of interpreting culture, such as signs and meanings, symbols and rituals, but the interpretation will no doubt be informative and will provide new insights to interpretation of culture. The study of culture is also deeply intertwined with heritage and environment as well. The Living Root Bridge and the ancient Lamphang sacred grove in East Khasi Hills are living proofs of the cultural heritage of the people. The sacred grove so clearly exhibits the wisdom of the forefathers regarding the importance of respecting and preserving nature for posterity, and all the more so in the 21st century with the problems of water scarcity, pollution, food security, and other issues as well. The global concern on environmental issues that plague the whole planet perhaps makes it necessary for the present generation to turn back to our roots and understand the cultural traditions handed down from the ancient past. It's really not my intention to speak on any of the topics of conversations which will be held during the next few days, but I just want to share my thoughts on some of them, of which I am sure, the resource persons will present very in-depth, their knowledge and their expertise. All the sessions will, I am sure, be lively and informative. The wide-ranging topics are thought-provoking. Be they on Northeast literature, we have experts and luminaries, authors from the Northeast of India, the plague of tuberculosis, the musical journey of our land and people by Tipriti Kharbangar, a very renowned musician of Shillong, children's literature, sports, cinema, to name just a few. I do not wish to take up any more of your time. I'm sure all of you are keen and excited to have the sessions of conversing and interacting with esteemed panelists. I want to express my gratitude to the organizers of the event and Kong Mary Kurkalang, the creative director in particular. Thank you for letting me be a part of your program. I extend my best wishes to everyone for a grand success of the entire festival. God bless you all. Thank you, Mitaila and Kublai.
Thank you, Professor Badaplin War, for those words of encouragement and inspiration. We now invite our honorable chief guest, Sri Conrad K. Sangma, the Chief Minister of Meghalaya, to come and say a few words.
The chairperson of today's program, Ms. Marak, who is the Director Outreach of MLCU, our Commissioner and Secretary for Tourism and other departments, Dr. Vijay Kumar, our Director for Tourism, Basiril, our guests who are on the dais, Professor War and Mr. Sanjay Hazarika, all the other renowned writers, budding writers, and authors, the young students, and all my dear friends who have come from different parts of the country, as well as different parts of the Northeast and the state, to be here on the second edition of the literary festival that we're having here in Shillong. As was mentioned by Dr. Vijay, that we had started planning this entire process of having the festival quite a long time back. In fact, in 2018 itself and 19 itself, we started to plan out things so that we could start having this as an annual event and a calendar event. But because of many challenges which you're all aware of, we were not able to take it off in the first year itself, 2018, 2019. But I'm very happy that we could finally launch it last year. And I'm sure that as we move along, and as we have these programs and this fest more regularly, that we will be able to make this even better in the future. It is already a huge improvement from what it was last year. And I'm sure that as we move along, we will be able to do much more. And I hope that this will become one of the best festivals, not just in India, but globally also. We would like to see that this literary festival would become a calendar event even at the global level. While I say that, the purposes are very simple. Of course, it is to celebrate, as was mentioned by Dr. Vijay, celebrate our authors, our writers, and also to inspire the young budding authors and writers, especially the young students, to ensure that the habit of reading and the interest into literature grows through these kind of programs and festivals, and to be able to allow you to be inspired so that you can meet the different writers, listen to them, and one-to-one really interact with them. And I personally feel that these interactive sessions can leave a very strong memory and a very strong impact on your mind that can last for a very long time, which will truly inspire you to be a writer or to be at least more interested in reading and literature as a whole. And of course, we see this also as another event which a place like Shillong can host, because of the fact that we would like to project our city as a tourism destination, and a destination where we look at activity-based tourism. We look at different kind of high-end tourism, where was being mentioned by Professor War, that we would like to, not to say that we don't want the large-scale tourists to come. Of course we want. Any tourist and every tourist is welcome. But the policy of the government can determine to a large extent what kind of crowd that we pull. And therefore, in those aspects, we would like to see that different kind of crowds, the niche that we have in, say, writers or musicians or artists, we would like to see that our policies and our programs would link towards that and would work towards trying to make Shillong and Meghalaya a high-end tourism destination, which we feel that we have a huge potential in. Apart from that, as a state, we really have been working towards taking Meghalaya forward. And we have put ourselves a very strong target to say that we would like to be in the top 10 states in the next 10 years. And those of you who may not know, well, we are in the bottom 10 right now. And therefore, it's not an easy climb for us. But then I have always maintained to my team and to all the people who work with me that unless we don't push our levels higher, unless we don't target for that higher goal, I don't think we'll be able to move forward. And therefore, a long drawn process has started and different activities went in. When we say we want to be in the top 10 states, it requires us to do things that are meaningful and things that will change the entire scenario in our state. And of course, there are many aspects. I don't think this is the right platform to go into it. But I wanted to share with you, to say and to see that what we are doing here today is not just one event that is just being done for the sake of being doing. It's a part of a master plan and a blueprint and a much bigger picture of the new Meghalaya that we want to create. We were at the bottom in immunization when we took over in 2018, number 27. And today, with the target of being in the top 10, we are at number 2 in immunization in the past, in 3 years' time. We were in Jal Jeevan Mission, we hardly had 4,000 houses that were connected through water supply pipes. In a matter of 2 years, we have over 250,000. We are one of the most improved states in the country, and the only state that has received or is going to receive the 3rd year consecutively, we're going to receive bonus from Government of India for fulfilling the targets that were given to us and utilizing the money that was given to us. We have created one of the best ecosystems for entrepreneurs in the country today and been awarded by Government of India, MSME department, for this particular achievement that we had. We have been awarded by the UN for e-governance project at an international level. We were able to have the programs for health, where we were awarded again by Government of India for the insurance program that we had started. And recently you saw the Northeast Olympics that took place. And in that, a lot of you who were present out there, and maybe some of you who saw it on videos, would see that the first reaction was, well, we never expected that Meghalaya would do this or would be able to do this. And that's exactly my point. Why is it that Meghalaya can't do it? Or why is it that Northeast can't do it? Just because we're a small state or we look at us as northeastern states, it doesn't mean we can't do it. There may be a lot of challenges. It's very tough. There are a lot of financial problems. There are a lot of social issues. There's a lot of issues with governance as a whole. Our machineries sometimes don't respond or don't react. It doesn't work. Making the system deliver is very tough. And to activate the system and make it work in itself is a challenge. So multiple challenges are there. But I think what is important is to have that mindset that it will and it can happen. And I strongly believe that in the last 3.5, 4 years, if there is a big change that we've been able to do in the state of Meghalaya, is a change in the mindset of the people. And the mindset is that actually Meghalaya can do it. Meghalaya can host this literary festival and do it well. Meghalaya can host the Northeast Olympics and do it well. Meghalaya can be number one in immunization, can be number one in IT, can be number one in governance. And that mindset of making things possible and doable and making people believe that we can do it is what we have achieved in the last 3.5 years. But I'm not saying everything is done. Traffic jam in Shillong. I don't know when that will end. But yeah, it's a big problem. So many issues to do with garbage management. We have a big issue with environmental issues, deforestation taking place. We have drug menace. I think all of these are there. And I think it'll be great for our writers to be able to look at these issues, as Professor War has mentioned, and be able to really reflect it in your writing so that people of the country and people of the world will be able to connect with these issues. And I'm sure you don't need me to lecture you on that. But, well, I hope that this festival will be part or will allow that aspect also to come out. Another very important aspect for us is the youth. And I'm so happy to see so many of the young people out here today. And this is being done for you. I want to tell you that we strongly believe, I strongly believe, that you are the greatest strength of this nation. And I want to ensure that we give you that opportunity to be able to be shaped in the right manner, to be able to come out the best you can, because only when you are the best will the country and the state be the best. So it is going to be in your hands. And that's the reason why we had these Northeast festivals. We had this Northeast Olympics. We did it really well because we want to inspire you. We want to motivate you. And we want to let you show the world that you are good at what you do. We have grassroots music program every evening in Shillong, in every corner of Shillong. 500 musicians, well, not every day 500, but over 500 are engaged where government pays them money. We give you the money, you perform, and you entertain the people, the tourists, and obviously, the people come to see your talent that is there. And this program was never there because the youth were never engaged with. Whether it's the programs for, the artists, the different artists, whether it's fashion, whether it's ateliers, or whether it's any kind of weaving, in all aspects, many different programs are being done in order to push the youth and to be able to allow you to take out your talent. And this program and this festival is part of that big picture. The reason I gave you a long lecture just now is to tell you and let you know that one should not think that this is just happening because it's an event. No. It's part of a much bigger plan. It's part of a plan to take our state forward. It's part of a plan to make literature and authors, and allow the youth to engage. It's a part of the plan to really bring out our youth, shape them in the right manner. So all of this fits in, and obviously it has to do with tourism. So I think you need to understand where we're coming from, why we're doing this. And while I say that, as I said, I don't claim that we have been able to resolve many problems. There are many issues. And if you list down, I'm sure that you'll still find that 80% the problem still exists, and maybe 5-10% we have been able to resolve things to some extent. We're moving forward in it. But there's a lot more to be done. But I'm sure that these processes will allow us to make sure that we do move in that line, we give the right image. And I'm really happy. I must congratulate the tourism department and all of you, especially Dr. Vijay and Cyril and the entire team for making this excellent arrangements out here. I think it's so important to realize and to put that professional aspect to things. वो टाइम चला गया जब सरकारी सिस्टम चलता था, अभी सरकारी सिस्टम नहीं चलता. सरकार का काम अलग है और जिस तरीके से हमें इंडस्ट्री रन करना है वो अलग है. प्रोफेशनलिज्म चाहिए हमको सिस्टम में. जब तक हम लोग प्रोफेशनलिज्म नहीं लेके आएंगे, जब तक हम लोग एक सिस्टम को एक अलग लेवल तक नहीं पहुंचाएंगे, तब तक स्टेट और देश नहीं बदलेगा. तो मैं चाहूंगा कि ये जो लिटरेरी फेस्टिवल में जो हम लोग आए हैं, अलग अलग देश के भागों से आप लोग आए हैं, ये एक फेस्टिवल आगे आने वाले समय में सिर्फ मेघालय में नहीं, देश में ही नहीं, दुनिया में मैं चाहूंगा कि ये एक सबसे बड़ा फेस्टिवल हो. और सिर्फ 2 बार हुआ ये. मैं आप लोग को विश्वास दिलाता हूं कि आगे भी हम लोग इसको और अच्छा करेंगे. ताज विवांता भी खुल गया, कुछ 1 महीने बाद मैरियट भी यहां खुलेगा. 700 हमारे अलग अलग घरों में हमारे होम स्टेज के लिए हम लोग ने प्रोजेक्ट्स अभी किए हैं. अगले 3-4 सालों में कम से कम हम लोग चाहते कि 1000 और 5 स्टार रूम्स यहां पे आए, ताकि हम लोग बड़े से बड़ा फेस्टिवल भी हम लोग यहां पे होस्ट कर पाए. तो ये सब चीज जो है एक बड़े एक प्लान में है. मैं ये नहीं कह रहा कि सब कुछ हो चुका है, बहुत कुछ बाकी है, वो करेंगे. लेकिन मुझे खुशी है कि आज आप सब यहां पे दुनिया के और स्टेट के अलग अलग भागों से और देश के अलग अलग भागों से आप लोग आए हैं. जो जो हमारे राइटर्स आए हैं, आप सबका आज मेघालय स्टेट में मेरी तरफ से आप सबका स्वागत है. Once again, I would like to congratulate all the authors and the writers who are here today. I would like to congratulate and thank all the organizers who have organized this wonderful festival, and obviously the participants, because this program and this festival is nothing and is meaningless without you. So the color will be added by you. So we have the cherry blossom pink, and now the literary color will be added by you. So we have just provided you the canvas. Now I hope that all of you will paint it and make it a beautiful picture, and we'll take this forward, and I'm sure that this entire process will inspire the young writers, the authors, and the existing writers who are here today. And I hope that this event goes great and really meaningful. And I wish each and every one of you the very best for this program. May God bless each and every one of you, and may God bless our state and our country. Kublai Shibun, Matela, and Jai Hind.
Thank you, Honorable Chief Minister, sir, for your very kind words and also your faith in the Shillong Literary Festival. Without further ado, we now invite Sri Cyril V. Darlong Diengdo, the Director of Tourism Department, to give the vote of thanks.
Thank you very much. A very good morning to everyone. Our Honorable Chief Minister of Meghalaya, the chief guest of today's function, Sri Conrad K. Sangma, Dr. Vijay Kumar, our Commissioner and Secretary Tourism, Professor War, Professor Hazarika, and other dignitaries, government officials, invitees, distinguished authors, writers, literary agents, friends from the media, and the youth who have turned out in large numbers to be with us here today, the audience. It is a matter of great pride and privilege to offer the vote of thanks at the conclusion of this inaugural session of the second edition of the Shillong Literary Festival. First and foremost, I thank our Honorable Chief Minister, Sri Conrad K. Sangma, for his presence here today, for his vision, guidance, and encouragement that has enabled us in the government to organize the second edition of the Shillong Literary Festival. And he has clearly articulated the vision of the government that this festival is not only a festival to promote authors, but really an opportunity for the youth of our state in pursuing the creative arts, including writing. Thank you, sir, for your kind presence, for your address today, and for really encouraging not only us in the department, but the youth of our state to ensure that they maximize the best opportunity that this festival and other festivals that the government organizes provides to them. We thank Dr. Vijay Kumar, our Commissioner Secretary Tourism, who as Commissioner Secretary in the Department of Tourism really drives us and guides us with his dynamic energy to enable us in the department to put our best foot forward. Thank you, sir. We thank Professor Badaplin War Padma Shri, a professor in the Department of Khasi in Nehu, for her kind address today, for sharing her insights and her thoughts today. We thank Professor Sanjoy Hazarika for his kind presence here today, who will also be taking part in this festival. We thank all the authors, the writers who have come from far and near, for your kind presence here today, for friends. We thank you for being a part of this festival, because it is your support that makes this festival what it is. And as our Honorable CM has articulated, that will take this festival to greater heights. We thank you for your kind presence. We also thank all the literary agents, publishers, and all the others who are associated with the written word for their participation in the next 3 days, which will make this festival, I'm sure, a huge success. We thank all our collaborative partners, institutes from Shillong and other parts of the country for all their help and support. IIM Shillong, the Martin Luther Christian University, the Foundation for Indian Contemporary Art, the Goethe Institute, the Institut Français, Penguin Books, Duckbill Books, Amar Chitra Katha, for their support. Thank you to all our partners and collaborators. We thank the Forest Department, the PCCF, the additional PCCF, Mr. Reddy is here, the DFO, for all their support in making sure that the arrangements are as beautiful as it is today. We thank the Deputy Commissioner's Office, DC Kongisa Wandalalu, for her support, the SP Shillong, Mr. Sylvester, and the SP Traffic, the other departments who are collaborating with us. We also thank the director of the festival, the creative director, Mary Kurkalang, for all the hard work that she has put in, and also our event managers, Roxky, for all the beautiful arrangements that you see here today. We thank our friends from the media for covering this event, for your presence here today. We thank all the government officials, all the other distinguished invitees. I can't name everyone here, but who have accepted our invitation to be with us today. We thank you for your encouragement and support. And before I conclude, we thank our audience, all the people who have turned up in large numbers to be a part of this inaugural, and I'm sure who will turn up to be part of the literary events that are happening over the next 3 days, especially the youth, college students, school students, the youth, the budding authors, budding writers. This festival is for you, and we hope that you will, with your presence, with your enthusiasm, soak up all the creative energy that the authors and writers have to give you and make this festival a success, not only for this edition, but for many more editions to come. If I've forgotten to thank anyone personally, I apologize. I can't name everyone, but I thank all of you for your kind presence here today, and may this festival grow from strength to strength. Thank you very much. Kublai Shibon, Mithela, Jai Hind.
Thank you, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, we invite you to give a round of applause as our honored chief guest will leave the stage to take a round of the festival. See the venue before he leaves.
We just exit from here.
We'll be taking a picture. Kindly stay in your place. Yeah. Please be seated, ladies and gentlemen. We will begin the next session shortly.